and Ukraine have exchanged 84 prisoners of war each, the latest in a series of swaps that have freed hundreds of prisoners of war this year. That according to both governments. The Russian Defense Ministry said the exchange was mediated by the UAE and that returned Russian personnel are receiving psychological and medical care. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the group included both military personnel and civilians, some detained since 2014, 2016 and 2017, as well as defenders of Mariupol, the strategic port city captured by Russia in 2022 after a lengthy siege. Zelensky shared images of smiling returned troops wrapped in Ukrainian flags and vowed there would be more exchanges. Large-scale prisoner of war swaps have been the main outcome of peace talks held in Istanbul earlier this year. Well, Helena, thank you once again for staying with us. How significant are these prisoner of war swaps, not just for the progress towards peace, but also for morale, not just for the soldiers' families, but also for civilians in Ukraine? Hello, Helena. Just checking you can hear me. Well, yes, you can. Fantastic. Hello, Helena. I just wanted to ask about the significance of these prisoner of war swaps for morale in Ukraine. Of course, not just for those families, but given that it's another signal of potential peace.
It is a kind of a signal, but when we were discussing possible negotiation track and generally the track of the end of the war, with the participation of some mediators, so the third countries which can serve as mediators, we warned them that Russia cannot be trusted. Putin is a pathological liar. We had 200 rounds of negotiation with Russia, direct negotiations with Russia, starting with 2014 and ending with a full-scale invasion. We've been trying to negotiate various kind of things. Russia would always come to negotiations, decide or agree on something, but then they would break each and every agreement. So we warn our partners and those who want to serve as mediators that you cannot trust Russia. So what we also suggested is to have a very specific, I would say smart, this specific, measurable, achievable, etc., criterias to measure whether Ukraine or Russia really do something to come closer to the end of the war. So we suggested to stop the missiles attack in air, in sea, and the third thing that we suggested is to exchange all prisoners of war. All prisoners of war. Currently in Russia, there are thousands of Ukrainians, not only military, but also civilians who are kept in prisons, who are being tortured, who are being cut, etc., etc. And when we are talking about thousands of people who are captured and kept in the conditions that don't match any Geneva convention or any other convention or any even logic, and then they agree to trade just a couple dozen people, that's far from what really matters. This is far from a real criteria that we put on the table.
Helena Yanchenko, we are unfortunately out of time, but thank you ever so much for such a unique insight. Of course, all eyes will now be on that summit between President Donald Trump and President Vladimir Putin to be held in Alaska tomorrow. We will, of course, bring you all of the updates leading up to that and then live as that meeting